Tensions are also ramping up between the United States and Turkey. Turkish President Erdogan says a military operation against Kurdish forces in Syria will continue despite a possible confrontation with the United States. To discuss this, I'm joined tonight by former U.S. diplomat Jim Jatras. Jim, nice to have you with us.
Good to see you.
The back and forth between the United States and Turkey has not been this heated for a long time, if ever. Your thoughts? What's happening here?
Well, a few things. Let's remember what triggered this Turkish incursion, so-called Operation Olive Branch, if you can believe that. That it was the announcement the United States is creating in the Kurdish-held zone in Syria a border security force with the Kurdish YPG militia, whom the Turks regard as simply PKK terrorists, a group that's listed as terrorists both by Turkey, the United States, as well as by NATO. I think that was sort of the last straw for Erdogan. He felt he had to do something, and it puts the U.S. in an impossible position between our de jure NATO ally Turkey and our de facto boots-on-the-ground ally in Syria, the Kurds. And I think it's pretty clear that when push comes to shove, the United States will abandon the Kurds.
Doesn't sound like there's any Russian help here at all.
I don't think so. I think they're just going to sit back and eat popcorn at this point, because it's really another rake hitting you in the face of American policy where we have messed up. Look, Trump said he wanted to destroy ISIS. ISIS is on the ropes. He could declare victory and get out of Syria. Instead, we're digging down in, and Mr. Tillerson announced a new policy, which brings us back to Assad must go.
And Tillerson seems to be speaking with such conviction. Number one, on who's responsible for the chemical attacks, but also the involvement to support the Kurds, which is going to cause, obviously, tensions with Turkey, which Erdogan has drawn a line in the sand. I mean, there's an ultimatum coming from the Turkish president. What does that mean? Are they going to start shooting at American troops in Syria?
Right. The offensive was against a pocket called Afrin in the northwest of the country. There were not any Americans there that I'm aware of. The Americans we have, what, a dozen illegal bases, illegal under both American and international law, in the main Kurdish-held area they call Rojava. If the Turks move there, and there's some indication they would attack the town of Manbij, that could involve action against areas where there are Americans, and Americans can be hurt. Are we going to shoot our own NATO ally, Turkey? I don't know.
Well, we don't know what this president
or we
do.
have Americans killed by our ally. That's a distinct danger.
And so the position that the United States is in right now, it's decision time.
Right.
You're either in or you're out on the Kurds to keep the Turks happy. Which is it?
That's the real question, because if we don't back the Kurds up, and if we basically throw them to the wolves and try to appease the Turks, we are being dealt out of the game in Syria. And we basically are getting out because we don't have any client on the ground there to speak of. And I don't know that, I don't know about Trump, but I don't know if the administration, the people around him, are willing to accept that.